I just lost a 5-year-old nephew on a drive-by.
We located a male on Carver Street suffering from a non-life-threatening gunshot wound to the leg. We also discovered a 5-year-old boy that was suffering from a gunshot wound. That child was taken trauma lot to Lee Memorial Hospital, and that child has died from his injuries.
5-year-old innocent kid lost his life for no reason at all.
This is the time now to say no more in the neighborhood, no more in the community, and to hold these individuals accountable.
And that's where we start today, right now on Wink News Live at 4. Fort Myers police demanding answers and looking for a killer after a 5-year-old boy was senselessly gunned down last night.
At this hour, a memorial is growing for Andrew Faust Jr. outside his home on Cuba Street where the shooting unfolded.
Wink News has complete team coverage live at 4. Senior reporter Mike Walters at the boys' school today where detectives are searching a canal for clues. But we start with Nicole Papageorge, who's live at the home on Cuba Street. Nicole, do police have any new leads about who the shooter is?
Unfortunately, Chris, no. We know that tips have been coming in throughout the day, and Fort Myers police have been investigating and following up on those leads, but still no names into who shot this boy. What we can show you is this memorial here in front of the house has been growing. You can see cars, a bike, and flowers, even cards coming here for well wishes and prayers for the family. It is a heartbreaking sight as the mother of 5-year-old Andrew Faust Jr. finds out he was murdered. Police say Andrew was hit by stray bullets at his home on Cuba Street in Fort Myers Monday night.
A happy little boy, very smart, very intelligent.
All new today, his family is trying to comfort each other, sharing favorite stories about the 5-year-old. His aunt tells Wink News he and his mother were inseparable.
But him and his mama was very close. Yeah, wherever you seen him, wherever you seen her, you seen him.
Andrew attended school at Franklin Magnet School, just a short walk from their home. Today, some children were playing outside while others were getting grief counseling about Andrew's death. Right across the street at the neighborhood store, the conversation centered around Andrew.
They cowards. Whoever did is cowards. That's what they are.
Now this entire community is praying for the family that's asking anyone with information about this senseless murder to come forward.
And I just think that the community just need to pull together and just stop the violence. You're talking about a baby, 5 years old.
Word yet on funeral arrangements for Andrew, but anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. You can call that number anonymously, 1-800-780-TIPS. We're live in Fort Myers. Nicole Papageorge, Wink News.
All right, let's hope they get the calls they need now. Nicole, thank you.
Continuing our breaking team coverage right now, an exhaustive search for clues is unfolding only blocks away from the shooting scene. A dive team has been looking in a canal for hours near the Franklin Magnet School where Andrew Faust Jr. was a student. Wink News senior reporter Mike Walters picks up our complete team coverage from that canal. Mike, have crews found anything yet?
We're on the west side of Franklin Park Magnet School along Ford Street, about a block and a half or so from the shooting scene. And here, police detectives and city workers are cooperating on a search of a drainage ditch, looking for evidence that may be related to the shootings from last night. The police received a tip that someone may have thrown something into this drainage ditch after the shootings occurred. They are not saying that it's a weapon they are looking for. They're calling it an object or an article. They're avoiding using the word weapon. However, presumably that could be one of the things that might have been thrown into this drainage ditch. We have some videotape from earlier that shows the process here. City workers are damming off parts of this drainage ditch, roughly 120-yard sections they're taking, a little longer than a football field. They're putting dirt here to create dams. And then they're having some crime scene technicians walk through the water with shovels and metal detectors looking for evidence. After that, the technicians got out of the water, and then city workers drained the water out of the dammed off section of the drainage ditch. And right now you're seeing a Great All bucket, a dredger that's going through the mud and pulling out sections of mud as detectives look at that mud looking for some evidence that might be related to the shootings from last night. At this point, as far as we know, they have not found anything that would relate to the crimes from last evening. Live in Fort Myers, I'm Mike Walsher, Wink News.
All right, Mike, we'll check back with you. Thank you. Continuing our breaking team coverage now, detectives admit they're having a tough time getting answers about the deadly shooting of Andrew Faust. As Wink News reporter Stephanie Susskind shows us, police say witnesses are just too nervous to come forward.
Fort Myers police and Crime Stoppers continue to plead for information in this deadly shooting. Crime Stoppers coordinator Trish Rout joined us on Wink News this morning today, and she says they've already received several tips, but more people need to come forward.
One or more people have got the blood of a 5-year-old child on their hands. This has got to come to a stop.
Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers is pleading for information in Monday's shooting, which answered the community's worst fear: taking a child's life.
And we've always said, what's it going to take for a child to get murdered? It's happened.
Trish Rout says Crime Stoppers' phones often go silent after a homicide. People don't like to talk. In fact, there are more than 100 cold cases in Fort Myers since the 70s, but witnesses coming forward can break that cycle.
If you don't want to be seen talking to law enforcement, that's where we step in. Call us anonymously from your home. Text us, whatever it takes, but we need to find out who's behind this and to make them be held responsible.
She says police will follow every lead, and with so many scenes Monday night, someone out there knows something.
One of two things are going to happen now. You're either going to have retaliation for the murder of a little 5-year-old innocent child, or it's going to stop. On all likelihood, it's going to be option number one, where there's going to be more retaliation until someone does the right thing.
Again, if you have any information, call Crime Stoppers. That number, 1-800-780-TIPS. You can remain anonymous. Reporting in the studio, Stephanie Susskind, Wink News.
Stephanie, thank you. Wink News has a team of reporters on the streets gathering new information about this tragic shooting. Right now, we have a crew headed to interview Andrew Faust's mother. We'll bring you that interview and any new information she gives us just as soon as we can get it on the air.
He could do a backflip just from standing in one spot, just.
It's easy remembering the good times with her 5-year-old son, Andrew.
We're both scared of the dark for some reason.
This week has been a nightmare for Toyetta Simpson.
Today is a little bit harder, for one, because yesterday it was 2 days, and the day before it was 1. But now it's been 3 days without my baby.
3 days since her son Andrew was shot and killed in what she says was a drive-by shooting.
I'm just taking it one day at a time, Corey. That's all that I can do.
But now Simpson is feeling the rage over what happened. She believes the shooting was targeted at someone in her neighborhood, some kind of retaliation that took the life of an innocent child. And now Simpson is standing up for her son.
And I know that he's watching me, and he can't watch me to give up on him like that.
She's fighting for justice and to stop the violence in Dunbar.
The community, they need to see this. They need to see it, and they need to feel it.
Justice! Justice! When do we want it? Now!
People have continued to rally in the streets. Their message: if you have information on the shooting, tell police. Thousands of dollars have also been raised through the internet, and events have been set up around town to condemn the violence. Some say Andrew could be the start of real change.
That means that there's hope now. That there's hope. I just hate that it had to be my son.
Wink News begins with breaking news.
This is a turnaround for our community. This is a huge turnaround for our community now. You know what I'm saying? There's hope.
Breaking first on the Wink News Night Beat, a mother gets justice for the senseless death of her son exactly 2 weeks after an innocent 5-year-old boy was shot to death in Fort Myers. Police have now arrested 2 men for his murder. And Wink News has a team of reporters working this major story. We're the first and only station to talk to his mother after she heard the news. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Safati.
And I'm Stacey Adams. Andrew Faust Jr. was gunned down in his home on Cuba Street 2 weeks ago. And tonight, 34-year-old Thomas Edison and 31-year-old Terrence Irons are behind bars for the crime. The Night Beat's Jennifer Jones is live at Fort Myers Police Headquarters. So, Jennifer, what have you been learning tonight?
Stacy, Chris, Fort Myers police tell us they just arrested those men within the last 3.5 hours. One of them lives just blocks away from that little boy. When we pulled their records, we've learned tonight that both suspects have been arrested multiple times in the past. Tonight, Thomas Edison and Terrence Irons are being booked into the Lee County Jail, facing several charges, including second-degree murder. Now, according to their records, Edison has been arrested 13 times in Lee County, while Irons has been arrested 30. Fort Myers police tell Wink News detectives have worked tirelessly since the shooting on October 13th that killed 5-year-old Andrew Faust Jr. He was shot in his home on Cuba Street during a drive-by. Another man was also hit but was released from the hospital. Now, within the last hour, only Wink News spoke exclusively to Andrew's heartbroken mother about the arrests.
I feel awesome. I feel ecstatic. You know what? On top of that, I feel tired. Now I'm able to rest. Like seriously rest. I'm able to smell the fresh air. I feel like I could even see clearer now. This is a turnaround for our community. This is a huge turnaround for our community now. You know what I'm saying? There's hope. I had it. I just needed the community to have it, and they do now.
And Fort Myers Police Chief Doug Baker released this statement to Wink News saying, quote, "We will never be able to bring back Andrew, and our hearts go out to the grieving family. Our hope is the strong message sent out with these major arrests resonate with the community who will come together and make it so evil has nowhere to hide in the city of Fort Myers." And Wink News recently checked with Crime Stoppers. The agency says that they have received about 35 tips, and some of those tips did deal with these two suspects, and they were just arrested once again within the past 3.5 hours. Live in Fort Myers, Jennifer Jones, Wink News.
Jennifer, thank you for that. And continuing our breaking team coverage of this major story now, only Wink News spoke to the girlfriend of one of the suspects tonight, and she has some strong words for police. The Night Beat's Rachel Raffanelli has that exclusive interview and continues our team coverage from Fort Myers Police Headquarters. Rachel, what is she telling you?
Well, this woman is telling only the Wink News Night Beat that she is the girlfriend of one of the suspects, Thomas Edison. She is adamant tonight, saying he is innocent. Now, she did not want to show her face or even give us her name tonight, but she tells only Wink News her boyfriend is being falsely accused. She says he was actually home with his family and with her at the time of the shooting, exactly 2 weeks ago.
They just want to pin this on somebody. I hope they get the right person, but he is not the right guy. He was at home with his 5-year-old son and his 15-year-old daughter and me. So I just hope they find the right person. He didn't do it.
That woman also tells Wink News exclusively that she also has other witnesses who are willing to come forward and say that he was actually home with family at the time of the shooting. She tells us tonight she believes police need to do more work to find the killer. Live on the Night Beat, I'm Rachel Raffanelli, Wink News.
Rachel, thank you. So right now there are a lot of questions about these arrests. The Wink News Night Beat has a team of reporters working this story to get the community answers. Count on Wink News to stay on top of this story aggressively and bring you any new information just as soon as it comes in.